Okay, now I would like to talk about one of the simple ways of doing more complex patterns using the idea of the mathematical inverse operations. If again I always use the LDNA opening, weave an A, finish, reset, A prime, and finish that weave, it erases itself. But suppose I wanted to frustrate that inverse relationship and make it so that it would be an almost collapse into nothing, into the original loom position. I would then weave an A, and perhaps my thumb would go under the near lower index string, over the far lower index string, and then pick up the near little finger and downweave it. I would enter into what I call the A universe, A prime. And then if I finish that weave, I don't dissolve into the original loom. I barely frustrate that erasing of the original information in the addition of the second. Now perhaps I want to do a B prime to finish, so I have an A universe A prime, B prime as my figure, and that would be the resultant figure. And you will see that it is a fairly open weave, and the reason it's a fairly open weave is because of the just frustrated inverse relationship. And of course you can do that with all of the weaves. You can use an A universe B followed by a B prime and finish with an A, and you will see that A universe B prime B A is another figure. I rather like this figure because of the way the center crossing strings are wrapped or knit around by the other strings coming through the center. It's a very kind of pleasing figure. It is a universe B, B prime, A as a figure. Now let's do an A universe B prime, B, A, and you see that's a slightly different figure, an equally pleasing figure, however, as far as I'm concerned. And it is very interesting to play with all of the simple weaves and simple three weave patterns using the A universe by going over the over the far lower index, picking up the weave, but going over that goes into the A universe. And there are three simple universes that you can begin with in order to frustrate those weaves. The A universe is to go over the far lower index and pick up a weave. The B universe is to go over the near lower index and pick up a weave. The C universe is to go over both lower index and pick up a weave. So if you really think about it, you have 10 simple weaves, A, B, C, D, E, A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime, E prime, and you have each of those 10 weaves in the A universe, the B universe, or the C universe. So you have 40 different weaves, and in order to make a three weave pattern, you have 40 cubed, or 64,000, I think. 40 times 40 is 1600 times 40 is 64,000 different simple three weave patterns using those three universes and the 10 simple weaves. So there should be no reason for your not jumping in and trying to find different figures that no one else has ever done, because I can assure you that even though I've taught this course for 20 years, there was no one who investigated all 64,000 simple 3-weave patterns in the Tin Men system. So go to it. Okay, today I would like to talk about the more complex, simple weaves for the Tin Men system. If you remember, the Tin Men loom is set up. I do it with what I call a DNA opening. Traditionally, it is done picking up, crisscrossing, and dropping the thumbs. The D-weave. The D-weave is pushing the near little finger string under until I can reach back with my middle finger and pick it up, and then pulling it over so that it is the near little finger string is under and then over the far little finger string, and I weave and finish the weave, and that is the D-weave. If, for example, I wanted to form a figure D-weave A weave or D-weave A prime weave, I now down flip the A to get the A prime, weave it, lift out and extend, and the figure I get is this rather pleasing figure, which is the D-A simple Tin Men figure. Notice that I used an LDNA or a left DNA opening. Look at the center of this figure and you will see that it is slightly asymmetrical, but it is fairly pleasing. Now I'm going to do the same figure, except I'm going to do opening A, and then I'm going to set my loom, and I'm going to weave a D, A prime, and I have the same figure, but you will notice that the center isn't anywhere near as symmetrical because these crossing strings in the center need to have a DNA opening for many of the figures to have a symmetric resultant. But remember that every weave, I'm doing an LDNA opening, every weave, the D weave, can be down flipped to get its inverse. So here is the D prime weave followed by a simple A. So this is a D prime A, and you will see that that is an entirely different figure. And again, the top center is fairly symmetrical. I will do the same figure with a opening A opening. Here is the D and the prime, followed by the A, and you will see that the center again is not symmetrical, which is fairly interesting until you can think about how many different ways you can do the original opening. You can do the original opening first right, then left, opening A. You can do it first left and then right, opening B. And you can do it curl with your left hand first, curl with your left hand first, LDNA, or curl with your right hand first, curl with your right hand first, and RDNA. And if you tilt left hand forward, right hand back, you will notice that the RDNA touches both. The LDNA touches nothing. The opening A touches on the bottom, and the opening B touches on the top. So they are all four distinctly different in the crossing patterns in the center. But back to my D weave. D, finish reset, followed by D prime, finish reset is back to 0, or the original loom, as you would expect the inverse operations to accomplish nothing when followed one by the other. Weave E. The near little finger string goes over and then is pulled under the far little finger string. That's the weave E. Let's do weave E followed by B prime. E, B prime gives a figure which is somewhat like the D, A prime. And again, the center is symmetric, or fairly symmetric, because of the fact that I use the L, D, and A opening. Let's see what happens if I use an E prime. E prime is the near little finger string over and then under the far little finger string, down flipped, E prime, and this time instead of doing a B prime, I will do a B. E prime B gives, again, a figure which is fairly symmetric in the center and altogether different than the E, B prime. So you can begin to see how these figures can be, how two weave figures can be made with the D and E weaves. If I shift that and then clean the top and then put two diamonds on it, I can use the Murphy's Power Lift to look at that figure in an entirely separate way, and you will see that the Murphy Power Lift allows me to jiggle it and to play with it so that I can begin to see what sort of way it holds together under turbulent conditions. Okay. So one little final recapitulation here. A is near little finger string, B is far little finger string under, C is far little finger string over, D is near little finger string under, then over, E is near little finger string over, then under, and of course each of the weaves can be down flipped for the inverse patterns.